If you have any questions on the 5 problems from the CFA 7-1, you can watch this video. I'll go through and explain how to do everything. Keep in mind you can fast forward to different questions you need to see, but when you do the retake, you will have to redo all 5 problems. So if there's one you weren't 100% sure of, or maybe you got a little lucky on or something like that, just make sure you're watching everything because the retake will be all of the problems. So number 1 is asking us to factor out the GCF, right? So we're looking for the largest number that will divide evenly into 7 and to 21. So those are both divisible by 7. They do both have the variable. The smallest exponent is 2. So I will divide out as 7x squared. 7 divided by 7 is 1. There are 3 x's. I take away 2, so I have an x to the first left. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Those x's cancel out. And then I put my GCF in front. That is the big piece. Make sure this is the format you are writing your answer in. When it asks us to factor, we have to have an answer that when we multiply it together, we get the original problem. So number 2 is factoring by grouping. 4 terms, we're going to split in half. So we're deciding what will go into 10. That will also go into 16. Those are both divisible by 2. They both have the x. The smallest exponent is 2. So when I divide that out, that will be a 5x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. There were 3. I'm taking away 2. I'm left with 1. 16 divided by 2 is 8. There were 2. I'm taking away 2. There's no x's left. And then on the right-hand side, the largest number that goes into 15 that will also go into 24 is 3. But the first one is negative. So when the first term is negative, I factor out a negative. So a negative 15 divided by a negative 3 is a positive 5. That x comes straight down. Right, I do not want to factor out an x because they do not both have an x. Negative 24 divided by negative 3 is a positive 8. And that negative 3 goes in front there. So now I'm going to write my 2 GCFs. Right, the 2 numbers that are sitting in front go together into one binomial. So I'm writing my 2x squared and my negative 3. That negative 3 is filling in my subtraction sign. And then the binomial that they have in common makes up the second binomial. This will be my factored answer. Number 3, I am factoring a trinomial. Okay, so I need to take 5 times negative 7, which gives me a negative 35. All right, then I start making my list. So 1 and 35, 2 and nothing, 3 and nothing, 4 and nothing, 5 and 7, 6 and nothing. Right, the next number I would write down is 7, and 7 is already over here, so I know I have my full list. Now, I need numbers that multiply up to negative 35. To multiply to a negative, we need 1 positive and we will need 1 negative. Right, we need 1 of each. And the larger sign, the larger number always has to be the sign of B. So the larger numbers are on the right. That's the sign of B. I need 1 negative and 1 positive. This is my set that will add up to negative 2. So I'm now going to split that negative 2 into a positive 5x and a negative 7x. The last term comes straight down. The first term comes straight down. And then I'm going to split in half and factor by grouping. So the largest number that goes into 5 and 5 is 5. They both have the x, so I'm taking the smaller exponent. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. X squared, right, I subtract exponents, there was 2, I'm taking away 1, which leaves me with 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and those x's canceled. Over here on this right-hand side, the largest number that goes into 7 and 7 is 7. The leading number is negative, so I want to factor out a negative. These do not both have the x, so I'm not pulling an x out with this. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So again, my 2 GCFs are going together into one binomial. And the one that's in common, the x plus 1, is my second binomial. Number 4 is also a trinomial, but this trinomial A is 1. So 1 times 40 is 40. So I'm going to make my list. 1 and 40, 2 and 20. 3 and nothing. All right, everything is positive here, so there's no tricky options, right? 4 plus 10 is 14. Because A is 1, we can use our shortcut, which means we can go straight to 2 binomials, where whatever our variable is the first piece. So that's an x and that's an x. And then I'm going to use a positive 4 and a positive 10. That will be my answer. My last one is also a trinomial where A equals 1. So again, I'm going to take A times C, which gives me 21. 1 and 21, 2 and nothing, 3 and 7, right? We can keep listing, there'll be nothing else. But we want them to add up to a negative. So the types of numbers that multiply to a positive are 2 positives or 2 negatives. And the only way they will add up to a negative is if they are both negative. So we want -3 and -7. Again, A is 1, so we can factor with the shortcut. So my variable goes first. And then I'm going to put in a -3 and a -7. And that is my factored answer.